Most of this has come from a season of hyper-political concerns, but a lot has come since Tuesday night's election results. And I'm tired. I'm exhausted. My heart is heavy from carrying the many stories of discrimination and fear that I have heard from friends that have happened to people in our community, that have happened to people that I know. So I need a symbol of hope this morning. Amen? Amen. For even when I am struggling, I know that the still speaking God is at my side. I have come this far on this journey, and there are many miles to go. God is the ever-constant companion as we walk this world in faith, love, hope, and peace. There are signs of hope in our midst, things that we can hold on to, and I am so thankful for Kate's story this morning of perseverance and endurance and in the face of hardship, just holding on. I think we can all use a little bit of that this morning, something to hold on to. Now, when you entered this sanctuary, you should have received a piece of paper with a dream catcher on it, something to draw with as well. Now is the time to take out that piece of paper and use it as you tap into your creative self. You should be able to find something to draw on. I invite you to follow me in the guided activity of creativity. On the page is an image of a dream catcher with feathers, but without the strands drawn in the middle of the hoop. The dream catcher is a spiritual tool that comes from our indigenous traditions here in North America. The Ojibwe culture has a story about the spider woman, Ashibakashi, a spiritual creature that spun webs connecting her people together when her Ojibwe found themselves far apart. Her story is told for unity, to show how she united and unites the people. And today, this dream catcher represents that unity. The dream catcher is made from a wooden branch bound together in a circle, with string laced through the center of the circle like strands of a spider web. And as the people dream, the dream catcher hangs above their heads and guides the dreams of hope and peace into their minds. The dream catcher safeguards the people, especially the children, from nightmares and fear. If you have come into the sanctuary this morning holding on to dread, holding on to fear, holding on to nightmares, holding on to pain, holding on to unease, join with me and take your pencil, your marker, your crayon, and create with me in the center of your dream catcher symbols of love and hope. In the center of the dream catcher on your paper, I invite you to draw a spider web image, a symbol, a word, using strands of faith and love and hope and joy that will help reground yourself in God's love. As you do so, listen to your heart and to the hearts of those whom you love to guide you in this act of creative love. Meditate on what you would like to place in the center of your dream catcher and listen, draw, and create. As I read again from the prophet Isaiah, whose words were written just a generation after the people of Judea returned to their capital, Jerusalem, following captivity in Babylon. Their temple is still destroyed, much of the town is still rebuilding, and there is fear about how the people of Jerusalem will be able to move forward and heal. As Isaiah's great dream from God comes to us as a breath of fresh air, a movement from God's own Spirit to help us breathe when we have not yet caught our own breath. For I am about to create new heavens and a new earth. And the former things shall not be remembered or come to mind. But be glad and rejoice forever in what I am creating. For I am about to create Jerusalem as a joy, as a people, as a delight. And I will rejoice in Jerusalem and delight in my people. No more shall the sound of weeping be heard in it, or the cry of distress. No more shall there be in it an infant that lives but a few days, or an old person who does not live out a lifetime. For one who dies at 100 years will be considered youth, and one who falls short will be considered accursed. For they shall build houses and inhabit them. They shall plant vineyards and eat their fruits. They shall not build and another inhabit. They shall not plant and another eat. For like the days of my tree shall the days of my people be. My chosen shall long enjoy the work of their hands, and they shall not labor in vain, or bear children for calamity. For they shall be an offspring blessed by the Lord, and their descendants as well. Before they call, I will answer. And while yet are speaking, I will hear. For the wolf and the lamb shall feed together. The lion and the ox shall eat straw. But the serpent, its food, shall be dust. For they shall not hurt or destroy on all my holy mountain, says the Lord. As you work this morning to fill in your dream catcher, focus in on the strands that you have connected. Perhaps retrace them with your pen or finger or mind. Notice where the points connect and where they diverge. The connection of each line creates the solidarity needed to hold firm a web that turns away fear. Each space between the lines is sacred space, open for hope and peace to find its way into your mind, heart, soul, and life. And on that dream catcher are feathers, sacred symbols that help dreams flow from the strands and fall into your mind. What other symbols could you add to those feathers? Perhaps symbols from the prophetic dream of Isaiah, a wolf and lamb, a lion and ox, a vine and fruit. Draw, dance, and dream with these symbols. You see, symbols are powerful. They are meaning-making. And the symbol of this dream catcher, the image of the wolf and the lamb feeding together, these are not the only symbols in this world. There are dreams and visions that we can hold on to. And symbols help us to tap into that energy, that God divine energy. Symbols are important when hope is fading, when fear begins to overtake. And I personally have always found it important to cling to a symbol when I am in a time of need. The symbol connects me to something beyond myself. A symbol is not the thing itself, but it points to that which is bigger. Just as a Christian may turn to some of the symbols of our faith to feel connected to Christ or to God or the Holy Spirit, I turn to symbols that reground me in the source of something I need beyond myself. Love, faith, hope, God. Over the last week, I've seen symbols pop up. Some of them not so good. Some of them promoting divisiveness and evil. And some of them that speak beyond and point to something that is greater and better and bigger than all of that. I've seen several people wear safety pins. And in the wake of divisive language and fear-mongering that has happened throughout this election, and especially after this election, with reports of blatant racism and acts of oppression popping up in our news feeds and in the lives of those we know, the safety pin has become a symbol of solidarity with those who are marginalized and feeling afraid. At a time when discrimination and bigotry lurks in our streets and our communities, we need this symbol, folks. The symbol of the safety pin comes from another recent election in Britain, which voted recently to leave the European Union. Acts of discrimination spiked after that vote, and citizens, as a result, looked at each other and said, we need to stand in solidarity with our brothers and sisters. So they began to wear these safety pins to say to one another, "You're safe with me." And if you see someone with a safety pin on, it means that you are safe with them. I wear a safety pin to say to you that I reject racism and discrimination and hatred. I reject xenophobia, and I reject homophobia. I reject sexism. I reject the demonizing of the other, of our fellow human beings, because we are too scared to look at our own complicity in systems of oppression, divisiveness, and hate. My friends, love wins. And while this is just an ordinary safety pin, it is also a symbol of the heart of humanity. And if we want to give power to this symbol, then we must believe in what it points to beyond ourselves. Our church is filled with symbols, such as the Christian fish, which was used to identify those whom it was safe to talk about Jesus Christ early in the first centuries of persecuted Christianity. And a Christian would walk up to another Christian and engage in a conversation, and that person would draw half of the fish with their foot in the sand. And if that other Christian was a safe person to talk to, they would, with their foot, complete the fish with their foot. It was a sign of solidarity, a sign of safety, that we could talk about these things that are important. The rainbow is another symbol, a diverse representation of colors that has been adopted by our lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgendered, and queer communities. And it is a covenanted promise of God to never hurt. And the comma, which in our United Church of Christ tradition has come to mean we take the still speaking God seriously, enough to evolve and grow in our Christian faith. Isaiah's prophetic words to us this morning offers symbols as well, about a God's promise to us of new heavens and a new earth. And perhaps this prophecy stirs within us a greater call to action than any dream could. For Isaiah's words are not just painting the best of what we have and lifting that up here now. Rather, Isaiah is envisioning a world beyond what we could dream on our own. A world where everyone lives a long and joy-filled life. A world where all are fed, and where mortal enemies dine together, the lion and the ox, the wolf and the lamb. This is a world that we cannot do on our own. We need God to get us to that world. And that is this prophetic voice that Isaiah gives to us. We are certainly not there yet. The acts of oppression this week are a weather vane. Yet this is the power of symbol, that it points to something greater. This is the power of the safety pin, that it says to another soul, you matter. And this is the power of the dream catcher, that rejects fear and nightmares of this world, that feeds our hopes and dreams for a world that is in harmony with God's new heavens and new earth. The strands of that dream catcher create a structure by where we can catch the fear and anger of this world and transform it into love and compassion. When we set our hearts and our minds and our bodies to be as one with this prophetic vision, we too become symbols as well for God's kingdom. You are this world's dream catcher. You are, each of you, every single one. Catch those dreams.